let's say 30 parts per million or parts per billion, I mean, are acute to a small fry trout. And then we have concentrations up to, say, 1,000 or 2,000. When Silver Creek is hit by these, especially in the future when we get the sewer treatment plant fixed. I mean, right now, obviously the sewer treatment plant is pretty much giving us a dead zone for the first 8-9 miles of Silver Creek. But once that is fixed, I'm quite confident we are going to start seeing quite a few fish and fry coming up Silver Creek, including West Slope cuts. And my understanding, talking to biologists over the years, is when they get hit, you know, even if it's once a year, the fry get hit by a pulse of high copper, dissolved copper like this, it can really affect the population, you know, obviously for that whole year. And that population of fish, you know, it's going to take a while to bring up its population again. So I just want to put that in a little bit of context. I mean, here we are talking about, you know, so what a graph, you know, and these high levels, and that's how I look at it in my head. And that's, I just wanted to give that perspective. And then maybe if I can say something else, I always look at the intent of the law. If I can put on my attorney hat, I always look at, and we do look at the intent of the law, the NRD circle of law, is that restoration does, you know, kind of wait for remedy. We wait to see what remedy's going to, I mean, that's what's in the law. You look to see what's going to happen under remedy, and then the intent of the law is restoration goes above and beyond what remedial actions has occurred. And a beautiful example of that is, you know, in Silbo Creek, we have a record decision on Silbo Creek, and we've been working the last 10 years on, DEQ has been implementing that remedy, and then we have followed with the Greenway grants and doing additional things on the Greenway, such as additional plants, more sinuosity in the creek, things like that along Silbo Creek, and that has worked quite well. And I can appreciate, you know, the difficulty, you know, y'all have here. You know, here we had hopes that remedy would be more defined at this point, and then we would kind of jump on like we have been in Silbo Creek and do additional restoration. So it's a difficult situation, and it's hard to say, okay, we're going to jump in and do, you know, something that we think remedy may do, and that's kind of the concern that the group has here. It's always difficult to know exactly what remedy is going to do. It's somewhat of a moving target on BPSOU, but we just have to do the best we can. So thanks, Elizabeth. Just a few thoughts.
Thanks. All right, we're done with questions. I think the last thing on our agenda is to set the next meeting date and topics and adjourn. And I actually think we're ahead of schedule tonight, which I don't think has ever happened.
Yeah. I guess I ran
well done, Joe.
It's the second Thursday in February. 9th.
One of the things that we need to schedule is our public meetings, public scoping meetings for potential projects. We talked about doing that in the spring. Carol and I talked a little bit about February or March to get that set up. So we could move next month's meeting around a little bit and make it coincide with that.
The other thing you could do, I know you wanted to see, I need to pin Pat down. I know he's back there somewhere. Do you think Pat joined the program full-time back February 1st? Yay. Now he's got 2 jobs going. But do you think by a month from now you could have that draft project list ready?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a suggestion. Go ahead, if you have the time tonight, to schedule your public meetings for later in February, and you could use your regular meeting to do some prep work for that and look at the project list. I don't know if Tom Malloy's list would be ready. Yes. You're nodding. Yep. Within a month?
Yes.
2? Okay, so you could have your regular meeting around the same time you're meeting, and then Elizabeth, if you wanted to get a head start, you could schedule your public meetings now for either the end of February, beginning of March, or maybe you want to do 2 sets of them. And then you could do your planning for some of that at your next meeting.
Can I ask what's your vision for the scoping meetings? How would they work? Did we talk about that?
Larry, I think they would be ones where you've gone out and you've advertised them very well and said, we're looking for restoration ideas. You have that solicitation form that I can get back to you. It's not too different than the expedited form, minus the time critical part, but you could get that word out, and then there'd be an educational part saying these are the types of projects that can be considered, and let people come with their ideas.
Throw it out there.
Yep.
Multiple sites, one site, I mean, you do it, you know.
Yeah, you mean how many times you do it?
Yeah.
I was thinking a night meeting in a larger place, but at least one possibly. It's up to you. It depends on anticipated interest, but also that you have a set time for people to also turn in their ideas to you and say, we'd like to have them by this date.
I think we should just publish it and then, based on its response, then build a schedule to meet the response as far as venue and how many meetings. Because people might not have a bunch of ideas, or there may be an abundance of ideas.
I think the education component's going to be pretty important. There'll be lots of ideas, but whether or not they meet our thresholds.
I think it's we need a longer discussion of what the parameters of this are going to be. So I guess I recommend that we set that on our agenda for our next meeting. And then if we do that second Thursday in February, I think we could still within 2 or 3 weeks get it scheduled for the end of February, beginning of March. But yeah, it is tonight. I just think we need a longer discussion of what we see.
Should we communicate in the meantime to prepare for it via the internet? And kind of be ready to go with it though, and have us as members kind of make comment, and so when we meet on the 9th that we're ready to
Yeah, I think that'd be a great
kind of
idea.
yank on the trigger.
Simply because we have a fairly tight schedule to meet this year. So we could
Okay.
have things pretty well lined out by the next meeting.
So the 9th is it?
Does that work for everyone?
I'll try.
Okay.
We'll send us, or sorry, we'll send us reminders.
I'll send you a reminder.
Thank you, I would have been here last time.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned.
Yeah.